They thought I was soft, because I stayed quiet when they mocked me, because I didn't fight back when they laughed in my face, because I chose silence over chaos. But you see, silence isn't surrender, it's storage. Storage for every insult, every fake smile, every backstab. I wasn't soft, I was calculating. I remember the exact moment I broke. It's not the dramatic kind of breaking you see in movies. No screaming, no tears, just stillness. 1 minute I was trying to explain myself to people who never wanted to understand me. The next, I simply stopped. Stopped chasing, stopped justifying, stopped begging for humanity and people who sold theirs long ago. They betrayed me with such confidence, as if I was too weak to ever bite back, so if I'd just curl up and disappear like all their other victims. But here's the thing, they didn't. No, I wasn't like the others. I wasn't built to break forever. I was built to shatter, and then reconstruct myself in silence. They left me in the fire, but I didn't burn. I melted down and reforged. They humiliated me in front of crowds, made me the punchline, treated my loyalty like a doormat. But I learned something important. The people who laugh at your pain are the ones most terrified of your strength. They joke, because if they don't, they might have to admit that you, the one they dismissed, you're dangerous. Not because of what you've done, but because of what you're capable of once you stop caring. And I did. I stopped caring. That was the day I walked away from everything. Not with a bang, not with a dramatic goodbye. Just a slow, quiet exit. The kind that makes people nervous, because deep down they know. The quiet ones aren't gone. Just preparing. You know what's funny? The same people who laughed at me suddenly started whispering, started wondering where I went, started getting uneasy, because silence makes cowards nervous. They'd rather you scream. They'd rather you break loudly so they can feel superior, watch you collapse, feel in control. But when you say nothing, when you vanish without noise, and they panic, because now they can't predict you. Now they can't control the narrative. Now they're just waiting for a shadow to fall. They thought I was soft, but softness doesn't survive fire. Only steel does. I wore my pain like a second skin. But now I wear it like armor. You can't humiliate someone who has already embraced their shame. You can't betray someone who no longer expects loyalty. And you sure as hell can't break someone who's already rebuilt themselves from ash. I didn't disappear, I didn't fall, I descended into something colder, something cleaner, something far more dangerous. They'll say I changed. Of course they will. They always do when their toy learns how to bite. But this isn't a new me. It's the real me. The version that no longer needs approval. It's the one that doesn't explain himself to people who don't even listen. So if you're watching this now, wondering what happened to the old me, let me make it simple. You buried him with your lies, with your games, with your pity disguised as kindness. But don't worry, we'll never see him again, because what rose from that grave wasn't your victim, wasn't your friend, wasn't even your enemy. It was your reckoning. You know what silence really is? Not peace. It's pressure. A quiet so loud it eats away at your bones. A silence that screams every memory back into your skull like bullets on repeat. After they betrayed me, after the laughter faded and the crowd disappeared, I was left with nothing but my own echo. Not a single hand reached out, not a single voice said, "Are you okay?" And I realized I was never meant to be saved. I was meant to survive. Alone, they thought silence would break me. But it built me, because in that silence, I heard the truth. Not the version they fed me. Not the lies I used to dress up as hope. No, the raw, ugly, unfiltered truth that people only care when you're entertaining, when you're useful. We're bleeding, but still smiling. So I stopped performing. I sat in the shadows and made friends with my pain. Named every scar like it was a badge of honor. Mapped every betrayal across my chest like constellations. While they partied and mocked and slept peacefully, I stayed awake. And I built something they couldn't see. Discipline. While they were loud, I was learning. While they forgot me, I was remembering everything. And while they laughed, I loaded every moment into my silence, like bullets into a gun. Because silence, my friend, is its strategy, and mine was sharp enough to slice through every fake smile they ever wore. They mistook my silence for surrender, but I was just reloading. So when I speak now, my words hit like war drums, not because I'm loud, but because I've bled for every syllable. And when I finally moved again, I didn't walk back into their world. I burned it down. Because silence didn't kill me. It armed me. And the next part, that's when I show them exactly what they've created. A monster who remembers everything and forgives nothing. They wanted a reaction. They poked the wounds, pulled the stitches, laughed while I bled. They wanted to watch me scream, beg, fall to my knees and break like glass. But I gave them nothing. Let them believe they'd won, that I'd vanished, that I'd faded into failure, into shame. But monsters don't die quietly. They rebuild, and that's what I did, piece by piece. Scar by scar. I stopped chasing closure, stopped searching for apologies that were never coming. Stopped hoping they'd change and changed myself instead. Not into what they wanted, not into what I once was, but into something else entirely. They buried me in darkness, thinking I'd rot, but they forgot I was the dark. You see? A shift. A moment where the pain doesn't hurt anymore, or betrayal doesn't sting. It fuels. Where every lie they told you becomes a weapon in your hand. That's when you stop being a victim and start becoming a threat. I didn't heal, mutated, into silence sharpened into a blade, into rage disguised as calm, to a version of myself that doesn't flinch, doesn't fold, doesn't beg. I stopped asking why they did it, and I started asking how I'll make them remember it. I'm not here for pity. I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to make sure they never forget my silence. Because when the dust clears and the masks fall, they'll find me standing, unrecognizable. No more soft eyes, no more trembling voice. Just a smile carved from chaos and a memory that haunts. They didn't destroy me, they revealed me. Monsters aren't born. They're built in silence, in shame, in the corners where no one's watching. And the worst ones, the most dangerous, are the ones who look just like you, till they dawn. So here I am, not fixed, not healed, but armed with everything they gave me. And when I move now, it's not for revenge, it's for remembrance. Because they'll forget your kindness, they'll ignore your pain. But they'll remember the moment you stopped being theirs and became something they feared next. They meet the reckoning. I didn't come back to make peace. I came back to make history, not the kind written in books. The kind whispered in fear, the kind that keeps them up at night, wondering when they'll hear my footsteps behind them. They moved on like nothing happened, as if their betrayal was a phase, lesson, a laugh. They thought I'd disappear, that time would erase me, that silence meant surrender, but time didn't make me weak. Time made me worse, wiser, sharper, hungrier. I'm not the same one they broke. That version of me, buried under layers of quiet rage and sharpened memory. Now, I'm the echo of every word they thought I'd never say. I'm the answer to every cruel joke they cracked behind my back. They laughed once, they won't laugh again. I walk back into the room. The same people, same faces, same lies painted as smiles. But this time I'm different. This time I don't need them. I don't crave their validation. I don't beg for seats at tables I could burn. This time, I am the table. They threw me to the wolves. But they forgot. Wolves don't forget scents. Wolves remember the hands that hurt them, and now I return not to bite, but to lead the pack. I realize something. Revenge is a dish too cold for a heart this hot. Don't want revenge. I want remembrance. I want every place my name was mocked to feel it echo when they speak it now. I want every worthless they labeled me to choke them when they watch me rise. And I don't need to lift a finger. Success is louder than screams. Silence is more terrifying than threats. They created a villain to survive their guilt. They told people I was crazy, cruel, bitter, because it's easier than admitting what they did. Let them lie. Let them tell the world I changed because I did. Made sure of that. But now, I wear what they feared. I own what they tried to break. The quiet kid, the soft one, he's gone. What's left? A shadow they'll never outrun. A fire they'll never put out. You don't get to hurt someone, walk away as the hero. No, you walk away with blood on your hands, and one day you look back, and I'll be there, not as your friend, not as your victim, but as the storm you summoned. You called me a monster. So I became one, not to destroy the world, but to survive it. And now, I don't want apologies. I don't need revenge. I just want you to know, I never forgot, and I never will. Remember me, not when you're laughing, not when you're loved. Remember me when it's quiet, no one's watching. When the guilt finally speaks louder than your pride, that's when you'll hear me, and that's when you'll know. You didn't break me, you built me. They called me unbothered. They mistook it for peace. But what they never understood was Katisa was. That my silence wasn't mercy, it was aiming. And now, it's my fingers on the trigger. You see, you can't keep hammering a soul and then cry victim when it sharpens into a blade. They all laughed when I stayed quiet. Like quiet meant I'd surrendered. But silence is just war disguised as patience. And now, it's not silence anymore. It's strategy. Because the truth is, people only respect what threatens them. And I learned that love won't protect. You, being kind, won't save you. Loyalty will just put the knife in your back. So I became the storm they prayed for shelter from, and I never prayed again. Every time I bled, I didn't cry out. I recorded it. I archived every betrayal, every dismissal, every smirk in a locked vault called Never Again. They thought I was healing in peace. No, I was sharpening my pain, became muscle. My shame turned into armor and my silence. That's not just quiet. It's the last thing they'll hear because now I walk like I'm loaded because I am. Loaded with truth, loaded with power, loaded with names I haven't said yet. But I will. You think I forgot? I didn't. I just evolved beyond the need. To explain myself, I don't raise my voice anymore. I raise my standards. This world didn't break me. It built me. Wrong. Unapologetic, unmerciful, and unstoppable. I don't need applause. I don't want forgiveness. I want results. Because I'm not coming for revenge. I'm coming for revelation. And when I'm done, they won't whisper about me in regret. They'll scream my name in terror. Because scars fade, but legacies, they don't bleed. They burn. You wore your scars like armor, your silence like a trigger. Now pull it.